Thank you, Secretary Fabula, for your introduction, Secretary Romulo, Alabastro, and Chua, Ms. Laskowski, Mr. Dairit, participants from the local and international industry, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Philippines. For those of you from abroad, I understand 2/3 of the foreign delegates are from New York. Welcome especially to you. This event has been going on for 10 years since the start of my administration. I have attended every year because from the beginning, as Secretary Fabula said, we declared technology as the foundation of our future economic development, and we declared that we would create wealth by developing the labor-intensive, skills-intensive service sectors such as ICT as the key growth sectors. And I am glad that today, 9 years later, we did it. From scratch, with only 2,000 workers and $24 million in revenues in year 2000, we have created what is today a global powerhouse, the BPO industry. Almost 500,000 workers last year, expected to be 600,000 this year. More than $7 billion in revenues last year, expected to exceed $9 billion this year. We created this powerhouse for smart business solutions such as what you can offer with vision, determination, and smart government policies in 3 areas. First, digital infrastructure. We encouraged more broadband services in cities and identified growth areas. Thanks to these investments in connectivity, the cost of international calls went down from 40 cents a minute to 2 cents through VoIP. The number of internet users jumped from 2 million in year 2000 to more than 24 million today. And so that no Taiwan tremor or tsunami can cut off our cyber services from their global clients, we encourage the major telecommunications companies to invest billions in redundancy connections. The second set of smart policies was an appropriate legal and business environment framework. We created the Cabinet-level Commission on ICT, headed now by Ray Chua, with the philosophy that the ICT sector should be guided by the market with minimal government interference, but rather government encouragement instead of interference. For example, if the market calls for call centers, we shouldn't force the investors to specialize in data management. Instead, we gave incentives to the developers of IT parks, assisted investors in identifying promising provincial sites now known as the Cyber Corridor, which we have been touring the past week and which ends today with this e-services conference, and we built more transport facilities to those new sites in the provinces. This philosophy drove the fast growth of call centers, but now the market is also moving our services towards the higher value-added segments of the offshoring and outsourcing industries, namely the non-voice critical business processes such as software development, engineering design, game development, animation, and knowledge process outsourcing. For instance, in animation, don't fail to see the upcoming animated film, Up, proudly Filipino-made. And it is said that the highest IT value in the world can be found right here in the Philippines, the Deutsche Knowledge Services. It is the leader, the world leader, in terms of its financial services and its technology workflow development. Third smart policy, the development of human capital. To increase the country's share in the global market for offshoring and outsourcing services, the government intensified the implementation of various programs that will train its workforce to enable them to find jobs in the BPO sector and to educate the young on the use of computers and the internet for the next generation of IT and BPO workers. More than 5,000 of our 6,005 public high schools now have computer laboratories. Almost 4,000 of them are connected to the internet. In technical education and skills training, we have invested 36 billion pesos, or about, well, almost about $700 million, 3 times as much as the combined budgets of the 3 previous administrations. More than 1 billion pesos of this investment goes to BPO scholarships. Of this amount, the larger share goes to the skills training program for near hires supervised by the Business Process Association of the Philippines. The training programs dovetail with the trends and changing needs of the industry. So for now, we offer programs to close the voice divide. With all of these developments over the last 9 years, I'm so proud that today, the Philippines, with 90 million people, shares with India's 1 billion population the center stage in BPO supremacy. As early as 2007, thank you. As early as 2007, the Philippines was already recognized as the center of excellence in customer service. Last year, for the second time, the United Kingdom awarded the Philippines as the offshoring destination of the year. And among our cities outside Manila, Cebu is the #1 emerging outsourcing city in the world, according to Tolon's Global Services. Iloilo and Davao were included in KPMG's list of 31 emerging outsourcing destinations in the world. Global brands continue to choose the Philippines as the BPO destination of choice. Accenture, Teletech, Convergys, Genpact, HP, Deutsche Bank, as I mentioned, HSBC, IBM, JP Morgan, Cytel, Sykes, Transcon, to name just a few. So to my colleagues in government and the private sector who brought the Philippine ICT to where it is now, and to our locators, I thank you. And to our participants who are still looking, may their success encourage you to come and join the surge of the Philippines as an e-services powerhouse. Mabuhay to all of you, and thank you.